Hi, I'm the RWA Video Production Manager and I'm going to be giving you some tips on getting the most from your mobile phone, so taking good photos and creating good video content. The good news is I'm a terrible photographer, but I am pretty decent with a mobile phone, and this is because your mobile phone is designed to make it easy for you. So I'm going to start off with the basics. The basics are clean your lens, don't shoot into the light, use the highest quality setting for photos, regularly download and delete, and ditch the flash. Clean your lens. So we're out and about, we're on the water, we're taking video and photography, and a tiny speck can ruin your photo. Don't shoot into the light. So within your camera, there's an auto light meter that's trying to balance the exposure for your photograph. You want to put the subject with light on them rather than behind them, otherwise that light meter will get confused and you might end up with a silhouette. There is a way around this. You can tap the subject of the photo and the light meter will adjust to light for that. But I'd always suggest you put the subject in front of the light with the light on them rather than light behind them. Ditch the flash. I would always turn the flash off. Even when you're indoors, just put the subject near a window or near a source of light, because with the camera flash, you'll get a very unnatural look on the photos. Burst mode. Now this is quite a good function on most phones. If you hold your finger on the button to take the photo, it will take a sequence of photos which will allow you to look back through and pick the best one. This is great if you're taking, say, a group shot of people and you're worried about somebody who keeps blinking or not smiling at the right moment. So here's an example of some photos I took out on the water. I put it on burst mode, held my finger down, took a bunch of shots. These are the rejects. And here you can see the one photo where I did capture the smile, just the right moment. Burst mode comes in really handy on the water when you've got a lot of things moving around, the subject's moving around, you're moving around, so use burst mode. Live mode. On most iPhones, you've got the option to set live mode, which will allow you to take a video instead of a photograph, a very short video. You can scroll through that video and pick the perfect frame. Portrait mode. So this is available on the newer iPhones, and what it does is it gives you that shallow depth of field look. This is particularly useful if you're taking a picture with a very busy background and you really want to highlight the subject in the foreground. You can also use this portrait mode when uploading photos to Facebook, and it will give them a 3D effect. However, you do need to be the right distance from the subject to get the most out of this mode, around 3 to 8 foot depending on the size of the subject you're taking a photograph of. Panorama mode. This is a great way of showing what's happening at the location you're at, and also with Facebook functionality it will enable you to make the photo interactive so people can look around the shot. Snap with a volume button. So on most iPhones you can use your volume button here to take the photo, so you can hold it more like a traditional camera. Download and delete. So there's nothing worse than being out on the water, seeing amazing action taking place and then worrying about which pictures of your wife and child you're going to delete to make space for them. So when you can, download and delete all those photos from your iPhone. You can use an app called Photo Transfer, or you can pay for some extra space on your iCloud. Taking the shot. Vertical, horizontal, diagonal, use the frame. You need a steady hand, the shot in focus, smiling faces, don't zoom, crop. Look for interesting perspectives, look for symmetry and leading lines, and funny is shareable. Steady hand. So if you're on the water, keeping a steady hand can be difficult. Way around this is using live mode or burst mode to make sure you get that shot. Focus. Now this works very similar to the auto light meter. You need to tap on the subject that you want to take the photo of. Here we can see a couple stood in front of the Eiffel Tower. The phone's got confused and it's got the Eiffel Tower in focus and not them. That would have been solved if you'd simply tapped on them, then the mobile phone would readjust. Smiling faces. So people want to see other people happy when they're looking at your photos. Now, this may seem a bit cringy, but shouting cheese is enough sometimes to get people to turn and smile. If we look back at the example I showed you earlier of the girl on the boat, when I did it on burst mode, all I did was shout cheese and she automatically turned and smiled and I got the shot I wanted. Crop, don't zoom. So however tempting it is, don't use the pinch zoom function on your mobile phone. All that'll do is make the photos blurry and very pixelated. If you can, move yourself closer to the thing that you want to take a photo of. Don't be limited. Go low, go high. Look for interesting perspectives and also look for symmetry in the things you're taking photographs of. So look at these examples. Funny is shareable. So there's nothing more shareable on social media than a funny picture. Having a humorous photo can enhance recollection, help you share it, help people get comments on it and get it pushed up on that Facebook wall. Always be mindful of safety and that everyone's humour isn't always the same, so don't push it too far. Also, you can turn on the grid on iPhones and Samsungs. What this does is this puts a grid over the photographs when you take them. And the theory is if you put something at the intersecting lines of these grids, it will make a much better balanced photograph. So you can see here a picture of a bee. The bee's been placed on those intersecting lines. And here we can see a lighthouse, and again, the lighthouse is on those intersecting lines, just helps you balance the shot. The lines won't be on the photograph once you've taken it. Don't use filters. So no matter how tempting, when you upload your photo, don't use any of the Instagram filters that are on there or any filters that are available on Facebook. You're much better off editing your photo on your phone. So just upping the saturation, upping the whites, lowering the blacks, and just having a fiddle yourself and saving the photo. All the filters will do will make the photo look unnatural, and they're quite easy to spot. Now I'm going to talk about taking video on your mobile phone. But first, let's look at where that video is going to be viewed. So the 4 main places we use video are YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if we just go through those. YouTube. So YouTube's great for longer form content, longer videos. It also works in conjunction with Google, so it'll get your web pages higher up in Google rankings. Facebook is great for video content that you want to get some interaction on, some comments, some likes, but it is more disposable because it will have a limited shelf life before it disappears off of the feed. Instagram and Twitter are for more aspirational, inspirational, very short clips. Last year we did some research on the video content we produce, and we found that our audience was most interested in top tips and expert advice. And this trend continues across all of our social media channels, including the British Sailing Team. So why use video? Well, video has an 80% increase in conversion. So that's an 80% more chance of somebody doing what you want them to do. So clicking on a link, subscribing to a newsletter, or buying a product. Also, 1/3 of all internet activity is watching videos. Including a video in an email leads to a 200 to 300% increase in click-throughs. Companies using videos see 41% more web traffic, and having a video on your page gives you times 53 more chance of appearing on page 1 of Google. Mobile video is also a great way to show an experience, give a personal connection to a product purchase or organisation, and stories are more memorable than facts. So it really allows the viewers to emotionally connect to your products or services. Popular types of videos can be top tips, action cameras, tasters, testimonials, and fails. Here are the basics. Always landscape, never zoom, steady hand, pick the right weather conditions, always think about safety, consider branding, and sound is important. So a pet peeve of ours is vertical video, and here's a video to illustrate this.
Meh.
This video didn't have to look this way. It could have been prevented. Say no to vertical videos.
Vertical videos happen when you hold your camera the wrong way. Your video will end up looking like crap. Meh.
There are more and more people addicted to making vertical videos every day. It's not crack or nothing, but it's still really bad. There are 2 different kinds of people who are afflicted with VVS. The first group treats the videos they shoot like pictures. They don't mean any harm. They just don't understand that while you can turn a picture, you can't really turn a video. Vertical video syndrome is dangerous. Motion pictures have always been horizontal. Televisions are horizontal. Computer screens are horizontal. People's eyes are horizontal. We aren't built to watch vertical videos. I love vertical videos!
Nobody cares about you!
So as you can see, landscape video will always look more professional. Potentially we can use that footage in other videos. And when you're shooting portrait, to me it always seems a little bit like you're watching a FaceTime. Vertical video can be used in instances like Facebook Live, or if you're doing some sort of vlog post where you want to introduce the viewer to a location. Never zoom and always keep a steady hand. Here's a video that illustrates this.
Oh my gosh, we're here. That's a boat over there. We're moored at the moment, we're waiting for the guy to come over and tell us what to do. Because we don't know how to steer or anything. But yeah, there's all the other boats. And yeah, it's nice, it's really cold.
No, you're going quite slow, so obviously a larger boat travelling the same speed will make a little bit of a chop, but you see what it does. It's like slow turning.
So we just got told how to drive the boat, and it's scary, but it's really fun. I'm probably not going to do it because I'm not good at that kind of thing, but I can at least help untying these ropes here and at the back. Anyway, yeah,
So as you can see from that, a lot of zooming, it's very difficult to watch. That video goes on for 15 minutes. It's really hard to watch, so never zoom. Sometimes it's not the right conditions to film. So if you're trying to show boating as exciting and fun, then maybe the day when it's pouring with rain and everyone's looking cold and miserable is not the time to shoot. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Safety. So we're lucky enough at the RYA to have a team of people looking at our content and making sure it's best practice. You might not be in that lucky position, so really do consider safety when uploading content. Branding. So this can be an issue for us, in particular with British Sailing Team or events that are sponsored. So you want to make sure the person's wearing the right kit for that particular video. So here's a challenge for you. What's this lady doing wrong with her mobile phone? Okay, the answer is she's covering the microphone up with her finger. So whatever she's videoing, we're not getting any audio from that. Now the microphone can be located at the base of your phone usually, near the power port, and it will just be a tiny little dot, but you just want to make sure you keep your hands away from that, otherwise it will muffle your sound. Some extra functionality for on your phone you can use for video are things like time-lapse, slow motion, Facebook Live and action cameras. Let's look at some examples of those. Slow motion. So slow motion is great when something really fast is happening, when you're taking shots of boats out on the water, something exciting. Slow motion can really add another dimension. Alternatively, time-lapse. Now you might use this when something slow is happening, you want to speed it up and make it more interesting. So boats being rigged in the boat park, people going out onto the water. Set the camera up on time-lapse mode, leave it running and you get some nice footage. Facebook Live. So this can be quite daunting for some people, but it's definitely worth it. And you need to remember when you do a Facebook Live, it is only live for the first time you do it. Once you've done the Facebook Live, you can then decide whether or not to publish so that it will keep looping and everyone can see it. The good thing about a Facebook Live is that due to the Facebook algorithm, your post will appear much higher in the feed because Facebook are interested in pushing that technology because they want more people to take it up. Obviously live comes with its own risks, anything can go wrong and it will. So just prepare yourself before you go live, know what you're going to say and have a clear objective. Action cameras. So we've probably used all action cameras out on the water, GoPros, Garmin's. These are great for experience footage, putting the viewer in the action. They get high views and they can be used throughout our projects, your projects, and are great for demonstration. Opportunities. So it's really useful when you're out and about to think about opportunities for filming. So for example, has somebody just shown you a little tip or a hack to help boating that your audience would be interested in? Or are you meeting somebody your audience would be interested in hearing from? Maybe someone's told you a story that was quite interesting that you want to then turn the camera on them and get them to describe to you. Or maybe you're just in an interesting place that you want to share with your audience. Things to consider when interviewing someone. So first of all, you want to make sure the person knows where to look. There's nothing more distracting in a video than somebody staring at the camera on the phone and then up at you when you're asking them questions. Usually what I'd say is spend the whole time looking at the camera on the phone. Introduce where you are and who you're with. You might end up cutting that out of the video, but it's useful information when you're sat at home trying to edit it. Also, try and get the question in the answer. So ask the person, what's your favourite boat? They would say, my favourite boat is. This allows you to cut yourself out of the video when you put it together. Don't talk over the answer. There is a temptation to to keep the person talking, but if you do that, that noise will be on your audio track and it'll be very distracting for the viewer. Also consider background noise. Are there any noises or anything going on in the background that's going to distract from the interview? Content ideas. So this might be as simple as taking one shot of a beautiful location or getting a testimonial from a member, a customer, somebody you want to talk to your audience about why your service is so good. Behind the scenes at an event can be interesting, and again, top tips or expert advice. Delivery. So if you want to get some footage to us, the best way to do it is to download the WeTransfer app on your mobile phone from the App Store, select the footage on your phone, and then just put in the address video@ryaa.org.uk and it will send that footage straight to us. Hardware. So there's a couple of things you can get which will make taking video much easier on your phone. The first is a lapel mic. Now these cost between £10 to £15. I can get them cheap on Amazon. They just clip onto the person you're talking to. I'm using one right now, and it will make sure your sound's nice and crisp, and it's the thing that the viewer's focused on. Also, you can get things like GorillaPods. You can also get a gimbal for your mobile phone, which can come in really handy on the water to get a nice steady shot. If you have any questions about this presentation, want some more advice, then you can get in touch at video@ryaa.org.uk.